Today I'll be interviewing Jamie Freitag, a registered dental hygienist from Rockford, Michigan, who also wrote a fabulous book titled Confessions of a Perio Princess, What They Didn't Teach You in Dental Hygiene School. Hi Jamie, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Desiree?
I'm wonderful. Thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy hygienist work schedule to talk to us today.
Oh, it is my pleasure. I'm so excited to be part of your show.
Great! Now, most everybody knows that dental hygienists are passionate about what they do, but you took it so far as to actually write a book about the topic. What was your motivation for writing Confessions of a Perio Princess?
Well, I took my coworker Jessica, who was a new dental hygiene grad, out to lunch one day, and she picked my brain for the entire hour, and at the end of it, it felt like I had told her nothing. She still felt like there was so much she didn't learn in school. She was 3 months into her career, and she wanted me to start writing some notes for her. She just said, I wish you could write it all down. And after a couple weeks of some handwriting, I started typing. And after 20 pages of typing, I handed it to her and said, what do you think? Can I make a book out of it? And she said she loved it and she wanted more. So that's exactly what I did. I just finished it up, and now it's out there for everyone to see.
What a great story. Now, I read the book. I think it's great. It has a real conversational tone, and you really don't seem to pull any punches. It's very honest and down to earth.
Well, thank you. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted the reader to feel like they're having coffee with me instead of being at a seminar or sitting in class and being slightly bored. I wanted it to be a page-turner, which you don't find that in dental hygiene literature very often. Everything's just what works for me or doesn't work for me. I was always the senior hygienist or the lone hygienist, so I didn't have anybody to go to when I had a question or felt inadequate or unsure. So I wanted to spare thousands of new hygiene graduates and those that have been out of the profession for a while from some of the angst that they experience and some of the embarrassment they experience, and just share what I know.
Now, you decided to title your book Confessions of a Perio Princess. Tell me, why do you consider yourself a perio princess rather than, say, a dental hygienist princess? What's the significance of putting the emphasis on the perio part of being a hygienist?
To be quite honest, it's just because it sounded better. It just flowed a little bit better. But perio's always kind of been my thing. It's what I like the most about my career. I've gone in a couple interviews and been told that they refer out their perio cases to the guy down the street, and I can't find the door fast enough. I really like the challenge of doing periodontal treatment and running my own programs, so I guess that's why I think of myself that way. But it's also to help myself not get a big head and not take myself too seriously either. I think that, enough. That I like of treatment and my own program, so that's why I think of myself to help myself not get and not take myself too seriously either. I think enough. I like of treatment and my own program, so I guess that's why I think of myself.
Absolutely. Well, and I love the way it sounds too. So it works both ways. I love it.
That's the main reason.
Absolutely. Now, at the beginning of one of the chapters in your book, you have a quote from Esther Wilkins that is, "Excellence is a habit." Can you tell me what that means to you, and would you consider Esther to be one of your mentors?
I would consider her to be one of my mentors. I remember back in those first days of hygiene school, flipping through her enormous pink book. I felt it.
Wilkins, that felt it. Excellence. Tell me what that means to you, and consider Esther one of your mentors.
Consider her to be mentors. I remember back in first days of through her. I
Wilkins, tell me what that means. What that means? Esther one of your mentors.
Remember days of through her.
Wilkins, tell me what that means. What that means? Esther one of your mentors.
Remember days of through her.
Wilkins, tell me what that means to you, and consider Esther one of your mentors.
Consider her to be mentors. I remember back in first days of school, felt it through her. Felt it pink. Felt it. I felt it.
Now, how great is that somebody might be taking your book and holding it and kissing it, just like you did with Esther's? I love that.
I hope so. That is also one of my goals. This is a self-published book. It is very easy with the social networking and the online media that we have available to us right now to self-publish. And so if I've inspired 10 other hygienists to do the same thing, I can hardly wait to read their versions. And that really was one of my other goals, to inspire others to share their stories as well.
Yeah, speaking of inspiration, in the book you say you're also a life coach. So what's your definition of life coach? And In some ways, do you think that being a hygienist is sort of similar to being a life coach?
Absolutely. We life coach our patients every day. It's more in the oral health arena, but we're still life coaching them. And life coaching is, some people think of it as helping someone to achieve a goal, but a life coach is actually giving someone the tools to achieve that goal themselves. So when you help a patient set goals to floss daily, they can also transfer those goals in other areas of their life. So I think that we all life coach. I've always tried to take it a step further when I'm working and try to connect with my patients on a deeper level, which is why I get that title life coach. My friends just started calling me that years ago. I don't have any training as a life coach. I don't have a business as a life coach, but through word of mouth, I have had some clients. And I just like to use what God gave me, and I try every day to get deeper meaning and purpose out of whatever gifts I have. So that's what I hope to inspire other people to do as well by reading the book.
Awesome. And that sort of leads me to my next question, without giving away all the information in the book. In one chapter, you talk about making the most of your day by looking around for things you know how to do and doing them. In other words, going outside the traditional roles of what a dental hygienist is expected to do. Why is this important considering the dental team dynamic that exists in most offices, and how do you do those things without stepping on anyone else's toes?
Honestly, I have never been told no when I've asked if someone has needed help. I think that if you have an hour cancellation in your schedule, you can turn that hour
dynamic that most often. How do you without on anyone's toes?
Which I've been told, which I've asked if someone which needed help. If you transfer the hour in your transfer the can turn transfer the
dynamic that
transfer the
most often.
Transfer the
how do you
transfer the
without
transfer the
on anyone's
transfer the
toes?
I've been told I've asked if someone needed help. I think if you hour in your you can turn.
I love it. Filling in the blanks, where it's necessary. I love that whole concept. Now, I realize that this book was just released this past January, but I have to ask, do you have another book in the works?
Honestly, I don't so far. I wanted to see how much interest there was in this type of book, this style of writing, before I take on book 2. However, the results and comments have been so popular and promising so far that I guess maybe I
asked. Awesome. Now, for our viewers who are interested in purchasing your book, where can they buy it, Jamie?
It is available online, both through Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and you can either put in my name, Jamie Freitag, or you can just put in Confessions of a Perio Princess, and it comes up very easily.
That is awesome. Well, Jamie, thanks again for being on the show and discussing your book with us. It's really great to hear about the cool things that hygienists are doing aside from just being cool hygienists. So that wraps up today's episode. Thank you again, Jamie, and we hope to talk to you about book number 2 sometime.
Thank you, Desiree. I enjoyed being part of your show.
Awesome. We'll see you guys next week.